Thank you for welcoming me onto your screens or onto your headphones, depending how you're listening to this. Wait, no, that's not the right intro. Alright, let's try this again. Thank you for welcoming us onto your headphones. I'm Eddie, by myself, and this is the rollback. Sorry, folks, getting used to some new surroundings and some new recording equipment. That said, today, folks, I will be covering something a little different. Yeah, I know we always typically talk about movies. Truth be told, I'm not a huge gamer, but there's a game I played very recently that I do want to talk about. A game that's a bit like a movie, sort of. It's about as close to a movie as a video game can get. I'm talking about the Quarry, a video game, not film, a video game that was recently released earlier this month from the creators of Until Dawn, and it's a new horror classic. Yeah, it's a bit in the air. So The Quarry is a 2022 interactive horror drama video game, developed by Supermassive Games. Again, the same publisher that made Until Dawn, but published by 2K. Players assume control of 9 teenage counselors, which you can fucking tell they're teenagers because they're stupid. I'm sorry, I'm 18. I'm not 18. I'm 28 years old. I can see the stupid. That said, these 9 counselors must survive their last night at Hackett's Quarry camp, summer camp, amongst supernatural creatures and violent locals. So this film, it has a great cast, but the video game effects kind of mar all the performances. I'll start with that. The transitions are good and all, going from scene to scene, to some degree, but the eye work there's a lot to be desired, because the thing is, so they don't just use motion capture and they're just go. It's a little weird. The motion capture isn't working perfectly. You can kind of see it in the face, but the eyes are a little wonky and they don't blink often enough. It's a little odd. It seemed like the characters were a little more human in Until Dawn, whereas in this one, it feels like they're humans that were marred into being video game characters. Almost like a crooked-ass AI. But nonetheless, as far as the acting goes, I mean, it's fine. It's a video game. What do you expect? There are a few notable actors. Namely, you have London Tipton is in this one. Do I reckon? Oh, and what's her face? Ariel Winters from Modern Family and nothing else. So we got those two in here, amongst a colorful cast of characters. Very inclusive, which I do appreciate that. But yeah, so the performances are fine. They're fine. They're fine. We also have the lady from Insidious, which it's insane because I feel like they don't really give her anything to do in this film. In this game. My apologies. Her name is Lynn Shay. Miss Lynn Shay, you know her from Insidious. She's actually very much heavily on the promotional stuff for this game. That said, they give her bumfuck nothing to do. It's complete bullshit. How the hell are you going to include her in this? But she gets killed off within 5 minutes. She just plays an angry mom. Her name is Constance Hackett. But really? You're going to throw her away, but you're going to keep Emma around or the crappy cop around? I don't know, man. I didn't agree with that whatsoever. So that said, I want to get into this. So it's a great story concept, but it feels like it never really gets going into third gear. It feels like we're constantly building up to a climax, but then we have a single choice that decides the fate of the 3 main characters, rather than some kind of progression that includes, what's the right thing to do morally, what's the right thing we should do. We should have the option to okay, if we want to go this way, we should be able to do this way instead of that way. Does that make sense? It all comes down to, do you kill the OG werewolf that's just some poor kid that was cursed or not? And that's it. And here's the thing. If you choose to kill him, some bad guys get what they want versus oh, I'm not going to kill him. He's not a bad kid. Okay, then everyone dies. Which do you want? It's kind of bullshit. It feels like it's a little too easy of a decision to make or not ambiguous enough. So I'll be honest, I don't really appreciate that. There's no real question of the morality of what should we do. And it's odd because this feels like a beta version of Until Dawn, but that one came out 7 years ago. Sure, the graphics are better, but what else do you have? Because it feels like Until Dawn had more branches. In Until Dawn, you had a relationship meter that worked to impact later parts of the story. each character had a relationship with each character. And depending on the amount of trust you had with them or goodwill, or how much they hated you, that impacted how they reacted to you later on. Whereas in this game, it's pretty much like you can enforce your personality on all the characters and everyone comes out fine, rather than like being put into compromising positions of like, okay, what's the right thing to do, or what do I have to do, if that makes sense. So yeah, on the flip side though, it is possible to completely fuck up and not even make it to the final chapter. There's 10 chapters in this game. It's completely possible that you don't even get to chapter 10 if you get everyone killed. Now also, in addition to that, this game does have a lot of like horror movie tropes. You know, we have a lot of the girl that's too obsessed with her social media, the love-struck jock, the shy girl, and the creepy cop. We have all that going here. We even have a one-eyed badass that was kind of a nice change of pace. She's a strong character. But again, it feels like there was more story and that we were robbed of it. You know, it feels like there was more. For all the cool concept of like, you know, this werewolf kid from a circus, you know, they tried to free him and now he's out free in the woods. And, you know, these counselors, it's their last night. I feel like it's not often that I say that a movie would have been better than the game. But yeah, I feel like a movie, because a film would have been better in the situation, I think, personally. The game didn't do much. It didn't do enough at all, if I'm being honest with you. And again, so the story mode when you're playing this game, it's about 8 to 10 hours long, up to like 12 hours if you're a completionist and you want to hit everything and find everything. But there's a lot of setup and build. And also the story's weirdly placed, like, in the middle of it. Like, so it starts off with these two camp counselors that get jumped because they didn't go to the Harbinger Motel, right? But then we jump back to their story in the middle of the story to understand all the backstory of what's actually going on, rather than it being answered later on by some character. Just fucking all over the place, man. Like, legit all over the goddamn place. Now, granted, Until Dawn story mode was only 8 to 10 hours, too, but it felt like there was so much more story packed into it. Whereas in this one, it doesn't feel like the locales are worth it. It feels there's a lot of repeat in this. Because again, there's not a lot of crazy set pieces in here. Like, they're just in the woods. There's an island out there, but that's about it. I really do think that this game would have benefited from either A, more development, or B, more story time. There needed to be more story time. We never hit third gear, and that's apparent. So the story starts out, again, two counselors that never appeared for the summer camp because they done fucked up. They didn't go to the Harbinger Motel because they were broke. The dude gets turned into a werewolf technically. Then we jump forward to the end of the summer, and there's a dipshit by the name of Jacob who wants one more night with Emma to see if she'll give their long-distance romance a chance. And this one damn stupid choice, this one idiot, dooms everyone, or in some cases, dooms some people to die. Like, let it go, dude. It was a summer fling. Fucking drop it. So over the course of the night, werewolves attack. There's a family from The Hills Have Eyes. There's some skinny dipping, vlogging, a hidden mine shaft, and somehow like a werewolf that you feel sorry for. Like, it. Props to them. The origin story for the OG werewolf is sad. He's a kid in a traveling circus. But there's this fire, and these kids try to free him, but then it doesn't work. And then like several people from like the Hackett family are werewolves, and they try to trap him so they can kill the OG one. And it's just like there's a lot there. And it's just like, what the fuck is this? Sorry to rant. It's just like there's some good to this game. Don't get me wrong. It is an interesting story. There are some positive points in it, but there are some things that you think that will become a factor that don't. You know, like there's a part where you're in like a snack area, like in the pantry, and it gives you the option to open a few doors and leave them open, or come back and they're closed. Now, initially, me and Nikki, when we were playing this game, we thought, oh, maybe at some point we're going to have to run through here, and the fact that we leave it open is going to give us a chance to hide from the creature. Like, shit like that could have worked, but there was no payoff in there. There was none. And I feel like there was a lot of that there. There was a lot of missed opportunity here, a lot of missed imagination that could have, played a factor. For what it's worth, though, the werewolves look fucking terrifying, and I've never seen them accomplish like that, where, like, they burst in blood and boom, vampire, boom, werewolf. So props to them on that. Jacob's got nothing on these. Oh my god. Jacob. Twilight. Motherfucker. I did not put that together. Anyway. Yeah, this game movie, it feels like there were some attempts to make it scary. And when the werewolves come out, they do come out swinging. But again, it feels like we were only given 70% of a game. Like, there's mechanics that could have been used. There's story elements that could have been used. More story, more like choices and options, more consequences for actions. Rather than it all comes down to this one thing. It feels like the third act of Mass Effect where, you know, throughout all the games, it leads up to this one thing, but then you get 3 choices and that's it. And they're all like pretty straightforward. Like, come on. I thought we could have done better than that. It feels like Telltale Games were truly the masters of this style of storytelling where, you know, your choices do genuinely affect the gameplay later on. But with Telltale being gone now, I guess it's up to Supermassive Games to try and fill that void. And, man, I really hope they didn't peak with their first game. As far as a rating for this one, I mean, I'll give it a B-. Is it worth a playthrough? Yes, but to quote, like, the worst thing you can do is boring. The worst thing you can be is boring. And this film, it felt boring in a lot of spots, man. And again, I feel like this film could have lived up to its potential. Some of the characters actually, like, are out of commission at various points of the game. Like, Ariel Winters, the second she gets down into the like, media room or whatever, like, she's out. She's no longer in the game. She's out. The second that, what's his face, Kenny or Ken, or the dude that she liked, gets bitten, he's pretty much out of commission too. Like, it just feels oddly paced. But that said, I mean, that's just my take on it. What did you think of The Quarry? Did you like it? Did you think it was great? Did you think it sucked? It's fair if it did. It's fair if you think that. That said, if you liked it, please, let us know. Please let us know in the comments below. Please check out our other podcast episodes. We'd greatly appreciate it. We're always trying to grow this channel. Also, go check out our YouTube channel. We've actually been growing there quite a bit. Quite a few views, a few more subscribers. Maybe join the army. I'll tell you what, once we have 50 subscribers, we'll do a watch along or something. I don't know. We'll figure something out though for all 50 subscribers. That said, I've been Eddie, and this was the Rollback. We'll see everybody.